Hey guys, Big Red 310 is here again, here with another quick video. Just wanted to play a little game here called Turn Him Face, Turn Him Heel. And I wanted you guys to give me your thoughts in the comment section below on if you agree with these, if you think there should be anyone else I excluded from the list. I'm only doing WWE, TNA, ROH, and Chikara. I would do PWG, but storylines are kind of, I won't even say secondary, I'll say like third string, maybe even fourth in that company. So, and it's too complicated to look at it that way. They have very little shows. Characters break, their characters don't always stay their character. They always kind of go flop between face and heel. So, I'm just going to stay with these, and I'll tell you some interesting patterns that I found. Let's start with the WWE, and I'll do most guys in the WWE. You kind of want to turn heel. I'm basing this on several things. I'm basing this off previous experience. I'm basing this off storyline development. I'm basing this off character elevation. I think these guys would be better in these characters. There's a lot of guys in WWE who you could see turning heel. Here's my list. I have the Great Khali. Pretty self-explanatory. I think we need that kind of big, scary monster in the WWE. We don't have any of them right now, which is why I have several of these guys on this list. Great Khali can kind of be that guy for Raw. I remember back in 07, 06, even when I knew wrestling was scripted, he was fucking scary. I just remember hearing his music, that that shit goes on. I was just like, but yeah, he's a very scary dude, and I think heel, he can get along much better than what he's now. His feud with Cena, his feud with Triple H, the whole thing he did with The Undertaker, a lot better than the shit he's doing now. So yeah, I think he'd be much better as a heel. I kind of have Mark Henry on here. This is the one I'm kind of about. I was going to have him do it for the same reason. You know, the way he started back in the summer, the way he was looking great, but they're kind of like making him look like a dumb big man now. I was like, now that Khali's on Raw, he doesn't necessarily have to be that guy as well, but you can if you want to. Santino Marella. Santino Marella is hilarious, but my God, when he was a heel, he was the sole best thing on Raw. From October to December 2008, he fucking carried that show by himself, just on how funny the guy was. He's still very funny as a face, but I think he's a million times funnier as a heel. I think people would love him more as a heel. Everyone knows he's not that good of a wrestler. He'll never be that good of a wrestler. Actually, he's a bad wrestler, I'll say it, no offense, but he's fucking hilarious, and that's why he still has a paycheck. And if they fire him, I'll be very sad. So yeah, he got to turn heel. Kane. Just because now that Big Show's face, SmackDown doesn't really have that scary monster that I personally think they kind of need. So I think Kane as a heel, plus Kane has done absolutely nothing as a face. Kane's career has really gone to shits ever since he's turned a face. Anyone will agree with me on this. When he was a heel, he was much, much better. So that's why, like in 2003 when he left RVD, he was also a very scary heel. So yeah, Kane I would put, and this one's kind of a maybe. I kind of put MVP on here, just because, you know, he's kind of one of those mid-card baby faces who's doing nothing with himself. I think as a heel, he'd be a little higher. Like, look at The Miz. While he is still a mid-carder, he is a little higher than the rest of the mid-carders in the WWE. Same with McIntyre, and I think, not just because they hold titles, I think purely because of their character and the fact they're heel. So I think that MVP would be a great heel. Now for face for WWE, I only have one, actually kind of two. The second one's iffy. It's Jack Swagger, purely because I think if you book Jack Swagger's current title run as a face, it would be a lot better. You know, him taking on Randy Orton, but without that fucking stupid RKO on the ground. That would have made him look good. His thing with Big Show, if Big Show was heel, that would have made Swagger. It looks really stupid when the face giant is fighting the heel underdog, and the heel underdog, when the heel has the disadvantage. When the heel should never ever have the disadvantage, in my opinion. He has a big disadvantage going against the Big Show. That'll be the story of that match, him trying to take down the Big Show, and he'd finally succeed in doing it, and he'd become a baby, and that's what a baby face does, not a heel. So I'm not saying he should be face, because he's kind of a good heel, I guess. I just think if he has been booked as a face so far, his championship title run would have been a lot better. The other one I have on here is Vladimir. This one I'm more certain with, and that's Vladimir Koslov. Have you ever, because as a heel right now, he's kind of doing nothing. He kind of acts like the big monster, but he doesn't really do anything. The guy is hilarious. I don't know if you guys know this. The guy is hilarious on the microphone. He did a skit with Santino a few months ago that I thought was really, really funny. He's supposedly a really funny guy in real life. He was going to do a sitcom with Santino and Beth. He's a really funny guy, and I just think he's not really doing anything now. I think he'd just be a lot better as a face. I think he'd be better off as a face. TNA. For TNA, for heel, I only have one, and that's Abyss. For very obvious reasons. Abyss, his career has gone down ever since they started to let him talk. Ever since 2007 with the whole Sting thing. As soon as he won the belt, his career went to shits. It's kind of ironic, I know. Same, you can kind of argue the same with Joe. But, yeah, ever since Abyss won the belt, he's been booked horribly. I think as a heel, monster Abyss, he'd be a lot better. I love him a lot more. He'd have better matches, that's for sure. So, yeah, I definitely recommend Abyss for heel. For face, I have a few for TNA. TNA's kind of the exact opposite, as in the pattern for WWE is they have a bunch of mid-card faces who aren't really going anywhere, who aren't really over, not getting pushes, whereas heel, they get slightly elevated. TNA is the opposite. TNA turns a bunch of people heel for no reason, and I think as faces, they'd be a lot better. I have AJ Styles on here. Not even going to go into that. That's fucking obvious. I have the Motor City Machine Guns, simply because I think as heels, they're kind of really not doing anything. I think if they were face, like if you look at Final Resolution, and if you look, I think technically they're heel or face, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they're still heel, though. As faces, they'd just be a lot better. Sure, their promos wouldn't be as funny. They'd still cut promos. I mean, if you remember their promos against Team 3D back in the whole X Division feud, saying, your main enemy is low-carb diets. You hate the X Division because it reminds you of your arch rival, Exercise. Those promos were hilarious. So I think they'd still be funny. And I think since the crowd would be very into them, they'd be over. And if they got more over, TNA would kind of see how their fans really loved them. I think maybe they'd finally give them the tag titles that they deserved for so long. So I would put them as face. The other one I have on here is Homicide, just because as heel is fucking pointless. Bring back LAX. Really? LAX was a lot better at the throne when both of the guys are doing now. ROH, yes, I'm including ROH. For face, I've said this so many times, I'm going to say it again. He's kind of the reason I'm making this video, actually, because I'm just watching old clips of him as a face. And I would definitely say Claudio Castagnoli has to be a face. Ever since he was a heel, he's been booked, he was booked horribly last year. I don't fault ROH on many things. I know they have a huge roster and a lot of talent to go through, but I truly believe Claudio Castagnoli is in the top 5 as far as talent goes. That's just my opinion. And I truly feel that they really dropped the ball with him last year. He was a mid-carder, kind of, fighting the feuds with Colt Cabana, with Joey Ryan, with Grizzly Redwood. Look at him as a face, him doing the whole, hey! He was over, the fans loved him, look at 2007, and then he became a title contender in 2008. He became a main eventer. He was just a lot better that way. And I think if he did it now, it'd be a lot better as well. Because we're kind of running short on faces in our Ring of Honor. Main event faces. We have Black. Roderick is kind of in this angry face mode. So he's kind of tweener right now. So we're not left with many main event faces. I guess, God, we're really not left with any main event faces. So that's why I think Claudio should turn face. I think he's much better as a face. I don't care where this whole thing with Chris Hero is going. It didn't go anywhere last time. I don't think they're really going to get into title shots with this thing either. I really think Claudio has to turn face. I think it's a lot better for him. I think he's a lot better face than he is a heel. That's just my opinion. And another guy who I want to turn heel for Ring of Honor, I'm going to go with the Necro Butcher. People really shit on the Necro Butcher, how he has really bad matches, supposedly. I kind of agree and disagree. I kind of enjoy half the brawls, but they are kind of repetitive. His feud with Eric Stevens has been the same match every show, and it really is starting to bother me. But I think as a heel, he'd just be a lot better. He can kind of be the closest thing to a monster that they actually have. He wouldn't really be a monster, but he'd be kind of the guy that, you want to go after my title? Like a heel champion saying to a face contender, you got to go through the Necro Butcher in a barbed wire, many stipulations, shit like that. When he's the heel and the face has to overcome him, he's perfect. Look at him in the CCW feud in 2006. Look at him in the Age of the Fall stuff in early 2008. It just worked a lot better in my opinion. I think he'd be a better heel than he is face, because right now his face, people really are not liking him, and people really think he's crapping up the card with his. It's always the second or third match on the card, most likely the second, and it really is kind of annoying and repetitive. And I just think as a face he'd work a lot, as a heel he'd work a lot better. Chikara, this was really hard. And I'm not really sure about any of these, but this is the closest I got. For face, I would say Delirious. I'm pretty sure he's going to turn face, but right now as a heel, he's doing nothing. He got out of the Eye of Tyr. I know he was a big thing with Ultramantis Black. I just think you'd have some great comedy matches. It was like Delirious and a few of the wrestlers that they might have done in 2007 that I haven't seen yet. But I don't know. That was a tough one, really, just because they're not really. He's kind of gone right now. I'll have to wait for the storyline that comes back. Chuck Taylor, I put as the other one. I mean, I know Fist is good and all, but they didn't really do anything the past year. They were kind of even though they won King of Trios and they had the thing with Khali, they really didn't do much. Icarus and Gran Akuma taking the brunt of this. And this again, Chuck Taylor again is I think the type of wrestler who, as a face, would be very funny in the ring, fun to watch, and the crowd can get more behind him than he's as a heel. That's just my opinion. For heel, this was fucking impossible. I'm not even sure about this one. That's why there's question marks next to his name. So I'm gonna say Hallowicked. That's the closest thing I can find. Like I said, you know, I just think maybe if Torsos wasn't in, this one's really I don't really think he should be that much of a heel. I just looked at the whole roster and he was the closest thing to a heel I could find. Maybe he can have a nice feud with Frightmare because he kind of looks a little creepy. It just as a face he didn't really do much, whereas Frightmare as a face looks like he's gonna have a very good year. So yeah, that one was kind of close. I mean, it's not really guaranteed, but it was the best I could find. So yeah, that was my video. Please tell me what you thought. You agree, disagree? Please post your comments below on people who you think in any promotion should turn face or heel. Thank you. That's all I got to say today. I got War Games 1991 and Big Red 10. I'm out, guys. See ya.